Welcome to Emotive Tales. Tonight, we have a story about a simple wrong turn that led to a life-altering discovery, a tale that proves sometimes the most confusing mistakes bring the clearest path. This is the story of Allison Reed, a freelance architectural photographer, and a morning that began in chaos and ended in a life she never expected. It was 4:47 a.m. when the frantic buzzing of Allison's phone shattered her dreamless sleep. On the line was her sister, Mia, coughing and feverish. The message was clear. Mia couldn't make it to the airport to pick up her boss, Mr. Hayes, a man flying in from London for a high-stakes corporate merger. Mia's job, she insisted, depended on this. Allison, despite their complicated, distant relationship, and against her better judgment, agreed to help. The instructions were vague: tall, dark hair, expensive suit, coming from London on BATWO 184. Allison, a woman who preferred the quiet solitude of her camera to the corporate world, quickly pulled herself together, the hastily scribbled name, Mr. Hayes, on a grocery receipt serving as her only guide. She arrived at the international terminal, a little out of place in her decade-old Honda Civic and her slightly too nice button-up blouse. After a nervous wait, a figure matched the description perfectly: a tall man in a flawlessly tailored charcoal suit, dark hair neat, and striking blue eyes. He approached her, his voice carrying a subtle British accent. "Are you from Reed Associates?" he asked. Allison, momentarily thrown by the correct company name, confirmed. The man smiled, a flash of perfect teeth, and introduced himself. "I'm Daniel Morgan." Not Hayes. Morgan. Confusion warred with the desperate need not to create an awkward scene. Maybe Mia had the name wrong. Allison found herself following the man, the very picture of wealth and confidence, to her modest car, apologizing for the lack of a company car. As they drove, her passenger, Daniel, began peppering her with questions about the upcoming Henderson merger. Allison, knowing absolutely nothing, offered vague, cautious replies. The truth finally broke free when she mentioned she was filling in for her sister, Mia Reed. Daniel's reply sent a bolt of pure dread through her. "Mia Reed isn't expecting me until tomorrow." He wasn't Mr. Hayes. He was Daniel Morgan, CEO of Pinnacle Investments, in town for a meeting with Reed Associates the next day. Allison had kidnapped, or perhaps, willingly whisked away, one of the most powerful businessmen in the country. Her stomach dropped further when the name finally clicked: the Daniel Morgan. The billionaire corporate raider whose face occasionally graced business magazines. Allison was mortified. She pulled over, fumbling for her phone. A quick call to Mia confirmed the mistake: the real boss was Richard Hayes. Daniel, however, was surprisingly composed, even amused. He checked his watch. The two agreed to turn back, only to have Mia call with a new update: Mr. Hayes' flight had been delayed. He wasn't arriving until the afternoon. The real Mr. Hayes hadn't been stranded after all. The unexpected extra time led to an invitation. Daniel proposed Allison show him some of her favorite architectural spots. Over coffee in a quiet cafe, a fascinating conversation unfolded. Allison, the artist, opened up about her life, her photography, and the strained relationship with her corporate climbing sister. Daniel, the ruthless CEO of the business world, showed a surprising depth of genuine interest and shared his own past vulnerability. This wasn't the image the media painted. But the moment was fleeting. A phone call shattered the unexpected connection, replacing the warmth in Daniel's eyes with the cold, focused gaze of the serious executive. A business emergency. The drive to the Grand Hotel was silent and tense. When they arrived, Daniel reached for his wallet, offering compensation for her time. "I'm not a taxi service," Allison said, stung by the return to their initial dynamic. He apologized, acknowledging the misstep, and then offered a cryptic, intriguing note as he left: the acquisition of Reed Associates was not a hostile takeover, but an investment in a company whose potential the current management wasn't recognizing. Now, the true story begins. Daniel Morgan was either a surprisingly decent human being, or a master manipulator. Back in his hotel suite, he was on the phone to his CFO, ordering a deep dive into Reed Associates, Mia Reed, and, critically, Allison Reed. Later that afternoon, Allison successfully picked up the real Mr. Hayes, Richard Hayes. The experience was the antithesis of the morning. Hayes was stocky, brash, and dismissive of Allison's career, complaining about everything, especially Mia's absence and the crucial meeting with Pinnacle Investments the next day. He also let slip a key piece of information: everyone has a price. As Allison drove away, her phone rang. It was Daniel Morgan's office. An invitation for a dinner meeting at 7 at the city's most exclusive restaurant, Elysium. At the opulent restaurant, Daniel quickly steered the conversation to the reason for the invitation. He had uncovered financial irregularities at Reed Associates, significant ones. Embezzlement by someone high up, likely Richard Hayes, a man who had been siphoning funds for years. Daniel, despite his intention to walk away from the acquisition, felt compelled to tell Allison, believing her capable of protecting her sister. Then came the proposal. Daniel needed access to Hayes's financial records during their meeting the next day. He produced a small USB drive, capable of silently extracting the necessary evidence. He was recruiting her for corporate espionage. Allison was appalled. She refused the USB, but the seriousness of the situation, and the threat to her sister's career, hardened her resolve. She would expose Hayes, but on her own terms. The next morning, she went to Mia. She revealed the truth about the financial misconduct. Mia, it turned out, had already suspected discrepancies but had been dismissed by Hayes. The sisters, for the first time in years, truly confided in each other. They hatched a plan. Allison, disguised in Mia's business attire and using her sister's ID, infiltrated Reed Associates. Hayes, oblivious, emailed Mia, asking her to bring his laptop to the conference room. Allison found the laptop, found the password, and instead of using Daniel's illegal USB, she logged in, navigated to the suspicious files, and emailed copies to Mia. Mia confirmed the worst: offshore account transfers. When Daniel Morgan arrived with his team, Allison was playing the role of the dutiful assistant. Their eyes met, and he gave her a subtle wink, a sign they were partners in this deception. The meeting began, with Daniel asking pointed questions, leading to a private discussion with Hayes. Daniel insisted Allison stay, recognizing her central role in the finances. Once alone, the charade ended. "I know about the embezzlement, Hayes," Daniel stated flatly. Allison stepped forward, no longer an assistant but a witness. "We have proof." She showed him the photos on her phone. Cornered and defeated, Hayes agreed to resign and return the stolen funds. After Hayes was gone, Daniel praised Allison's resourcefulness, admitting he suspected she'd find her own way. He confessed his interest in her was very real, precisely because she was one of the few people who didn't want his money, power, or connections. The airport mix-up hadn't just saved Mia's career. Mia was soon appointed interim director. It had brought the two sisters back together. And for Allison, it had led to an extraordinary, unexpected connection. 6 months later, Reed Associates, with strategic investment from Pinnacle, had been transformed under Mia's leadership. Allison's photography career had flourished with high-profile corporate work, even featuring an exhibition of her architectural studies. As she prepared for dinner at Daniel's penthouse, she reflected on the simple twist of fate. 2 airport mix-ups, a moment of corporate intrigue, and a decision made under pressure had not only saved her sister but had led her into an unlikely romance with the world's most powerful CEO. Sometimes, the wrong turn leads exactly where you're meant to be.